Yeah, well, the Lord giveth and the Lord tooketh right on away, because this episode was terrible.
Hello and welcome to our Star Trek Discovery Recap FREQCast. I am one of your lovely hosts, Anita Sarkeesian, and I am joined by the wonderful, amazing, definitely not funny.
That's me. Not funny.
Not funny.
Not funny.
Not even a little bit funny.
I'm definitely not going to have anything humorous to say this week because my soul has been sucked out of my body by this show, and I have nothing left to give.
I'm
a husk.
I believe you called it, quote unquote, hot garbage.
It was bananas, bonkers. Like, I was in a state of how many levels of grief are there? 5? I went through 7. I hated this episode so GD much. It more than the first 2 episodes. I'm sorry. I have to just get into it. I don't even have time to preface this with introduction, whatever. I hated this episode.
I'm so happy that you're back in the Star Trek Discovery is a shit nightmare fuel show.
I'm not. I was really starting
I know, but you're back here
hopeful.
with me. You're back here with me. Welcome back.
Yeah, don't put that bad energy on me. I wanted to be happy in this new Star Trek show. But
you just called the show hot garbage.
Yeah, well, the Lord giveth and the Lord tooketh right on away, because this episode was terrible.
All right, so this episode was a temporal loop episode. One of our listeners, CeeLo, mentioned, because we had talked about
CeeLo Green?
I don't think so. I think someone cooler than that. Isn't CeeLo a milkshake duck now that I know what that word means?
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, I believe she mentioned that the term that we were looking for before was a bottle episode, which is a term invented by the cast and crew of the original series because it would be one self-contained story, right? It would be a ship in a bottle kind of episode, which isn't exactly what this was, but thank you, because we clearly didn't remember that term. But this
God
is a
for our
temporal
smart
loop
listeners.
episode.
And normally, I'm on board for all of the kind of tropey episodes, and so we got a time loop episode. Those are always huge favorites of mine. I'm looking forward to Discovery's garbage take on the Enterprise somehow ends up in the past and has to worry about fucking up the timeline.
I'm sorry, Ebony. I think we are in the past, because let me quote you some things from this episode. Saved by the Bell, hua, hua, hua. Staying Alive playing, Pump Up the Volume. Wait, and my favorite, Man Cave. The fucking term Man Cave still exists?
When the doors to, I assume, the Discovery's version of 10 Forward opened up on the space disco, and they were playing Wyclef Jean's We're Trying to Stay Alive from the year of our Lord, 1997. I said, I'm out. The only thing keeping that show on my TV at that moment was the fact that I get paid to do this job. I was so mad. And then you're going to give me a time loop episode, so I have to hear that BS over and over again.
Oh my God.
I almost walked into traffic. Seriously, I could not believe it.
Okay, okay.
Does this show posit that there is no new music? Follow-up question. Of all the stuff you're going to harken back to from the 20th century, that's what you bring? Dude, it makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Okay, also, why? What century? We're 22nd century, 24th? Where are we in the timeline? I
don't even care anymore. At this point, I've stopped doing research. I've stopped taking notes. This show gets no more effort from me.
Why are parties in the future on a professional military ship a fucking frat party? They've got beer pong, they've got you're making out in corners with your coworkers.
I didn't what I found funny was that the party looked like a really fun bar mitzvah, but I was like, that doesn't seem like the way you would party. on board an interstellar vessel. Like I feel
Oh
like
my
y'all could,
god.
expend a few more space bucks, hire a better DJ, and really get this party lit. Also, I have a serious question here. I am confused about Tilly because I thought they were
Yeah.
going one way with her character, and I was on board for that. I think it's so important that we get like nuanced, complicated, caring portrayals of people who are not neurotypical. And so I was really looking forward to what her character was going to be and what she was going to represent on board this ship. But then, like, yeah, she's just, I don't know, kind of giggly and goofy at the party. And I was like, you don't seem like the kind of person who has like social awkwardness or trouble interacting with people at all. Like, whatever your issue was, clearly is fixed by alcohol. Join the club. That's not being neuroatypical. I felt very betrayed.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. Like I as the show has been progressing, and like I'm like, I don't think that these people, like the writers, actually know anything of what they're doing when it comes to portraying folks with like that are neuroatypical. And granted, I'm not like
Mm-hmm.
a super expert in this arena at all, but like this episode was the one where I'm like, oh, you really don't know what the fuck you're doing. Like
Seriously.
she turned into a sorority girl and is
Yeah.
like obsessed with boys and is doing beer pong and like getting wasted at a frat party, and I'm like, wait, that's not how this
Yeah. Like,
works.
she's essentially just become Burnham's wingman, and she had the
Yeah,
potential
yeah.
to be so much more, to be someone
Well,
who's
wing woman.
who's yeah, but this show's garbage, so wingman. And like she had the potential to be so much more and be her own character apart from her relationship with Burnham. But instead, she's just like the giggly good time girl, not with it. She does have beautiful hair though. I was glad that we got to see her hair down again.
Yes, it was really super gorgeous. Yeah,
Yeah.
man, this fucking show. All right, so
Yeah.
do you do you okay, so there is a time loop. The best part of the show was Mud, who is a great
Mhm.
actor in general, and
Mhm.
like was
Yeah.
his deceit and scheming. I thought was
Mhm.
really enjoyable to watch. Everything around
Yeah.
it was hot garbage.
Yeah.
But he bless him for being a part of this.
Yeah, Rainn Wilson like really bites off as much scenery as possible, which is exactly what you want from a Harcourt Fenton Mudd character. I am wondering though, again, like there's established Star Trek canon, and these characters, the characters who already exist, like Sarek, like Mudd, etc. We already sort of know who they are, and so there's only so much you can do with them. And Discovery to change that. In this version of Mudd, as fun as he is to watch, he's also much more like actively malicious and evil. There's very little of the like campy whimsy that
Mm.
he displayed in the original series. And again, as much as I like Rainn Wilson's portrayal, there's no way that I associate what he's doing with the Mudd of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
original
yeah.
series.
I can see that
But I
being
mean, that's
disorienting.
yeah.
I didn't see I haven't watched all of the original series, so I don't know the character and I don't know what it's
Anita,
based on.
you have so much spare time. Why are you not watching
That's
the
really
original
funny. Thanks.
series?
It's good
Catching up.
jokes. Good jokes,
Hmm.
Ebony. Good jokes.
Yeah.
One thing that really bothered me at the beginning of this episode was
Everything.
yes.
Hmm.
Also, in terms of storytelling, like how fast they were like, oh, time loop. Oh, Stamets already knows what's going on. Like they did
Yep.
one loop and then they were like, okay, you get it now. And I'm like, no, you've got to work us into this a little bit. And
Hmm.
I get it.
Yeah.
Like I understand why they made that call because they're trying to pull in so much, right? They're trying to show so
Right.
many loops that have so like to move the story forward. But I was
Hmm.
like, yo, you didn't give me anything as a viewer to be invested and know at all what's going on, and you are just purely relying on just like trope city for me to
Yeah.
stick
Yeah.
around, and not in a good way.
Yeah. And I think I would have appreciated, like, granted, they're working with a finite amount of time, and like you said, the story has to keep moving forward. But there seemed to be did we even get to see like Burnham or Tyler disbelieving Stamets? Like they immediately believed him. And I just thought, based on your relationship, or in Tyler's case, non-relationship with this dude, like of course it would take much longer for him to convey this information. But they kept saying they had 30 minutes, and people like they were just like, got it, time loop, I'm in. Let's figure this out, Scooby Gang.
Yeah,
you know.
I know.
And then
I'm right
shit.
there with you. I was like, oh, so having Stamets, who's clearly losing his mind, immediately be like, name of creature, whatever. And so then they're like, no, we will not follow Starfleet protocol because you said this one thing to us in the hallway randomly. Like, come on. Like, I just...
Seriously.
There's no consistency here, and it's purely just plot-driven, and that shit drives me nuts. Because, like...
Yeah, because no one would listen to Stamets. No one likes Stamets on that ship. Not even his partner. I'm convinced Culber's with him because he's being paid to be with him. No one likes him. No one would listen to him. They would be giving him the gas face. They would throw him in sick bay and be like, work whatever this is out, dude. Whatever.
Dude, he was so... I don't know what they're doing with him. Like, he's so wacky and goofy. And then, okay, I know, whatever. This episode was ridiculous, so I'm just going to skip around a bunch. Watching him give Burnham relationship advice killed me. Killed me.
I know. I was like, first of all, I guarantee you your relationship with Dr. Culber is the very first human relationship you've ever had. Stamets, no one else has ever wanted to date you. So where do you get off telling someone else, this is how you go about approaching someone, here's how you express yourself, how you communicate it? Like, dude, you're barely human. I don't want to hear it.
I know. And also, so he gives her this advice and makes her dance and shit, and you're like, you have precious time. What are you doing? And then also, she's not gonna remember this, but lo and behold, in the next episode, she's like, I'm gonna ask you to dance, and it's gonna be super awkward. And can we talk about how horrible it is to see them together? Like,
so
the whole
gross.
thing, her being like,
gross.
The whole
gross.
I like you. I don't know what's happening. I don't know feelings. I'm like, you're not a goddamn robot, woman.
Seriously. Like,
okay, also,
like, it's not as if Vulcans don't pair off, you know? So the notion of, intimate relationships should not be foreign to her, even though she says she's not. And the fact that she's never been in love, I get it, whatever. Let me tell you something. I don't like sex or romance in my Star Trek unless it's in fanfic. I don't need it on the screen, you know? That's where I come down. So I think we're like minute 3 where, Burnham is lying on her space bunk delivering her, personal log, and she's like, blah, 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 I find this dude intriguing. I don't want it. And can we get a season of these people before folks have to start pairing off? Just a season with them being people with, their own hopes and desires that have nothing to do with being happily coupled off. Like, go off and, have as much sex as you want in D-Deck. I don't care about it, but I don't need to see it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the coupling off this early and, like, building in, like, romance narratives is really stupid. First of all, do we even trust this guy yet? Like, it's totally just built in.
No.
That, like, it makes sense that, like, he outranked everybody who was, like, in line to become security officer.
Okay,
randomly.
And he's not any good. He's not any good.
Exactly.
Do you remember, like, at the beginning of the space loop when the Gormagander, the Gormangast, whatever the thing is called, the space whale, like, okay, so Harvey Mudd gets spit out off the space whale's tongue and starts shooting everybody, and then Tyler's up on the bridge being like, blah, 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 Burnham saying there's this, and I'm like, shouldn't you be moving a little bit faster? Shouldn't you be hustling? Like,
go save your girlfriend,
so
dude.
Dead. Yeah, like, do the chief of security, pick it up.
I thought that her big secret being I've never been in love was the dumbest
garbage
thing ever. Because I was
garbage.
Like, first of all, that's not a secret because no shit. Like,
exactly.
We already know that.
Exactly. Oh my God. It just was so like, and I'm a big fan of teenage girls, having been one myself, but it was such a teenage girl kind of secret. I've never been in love.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's
what?
Just, I don't. I think there's particular moments where I really just think that the acting is so dry in a way that I can't get behind. Like, there's an inconsistency to the way she portrays Burnham that just really fucking bugs me. And, like, it's the waffling between like trying to be human and then like being like, you know, super stoic and like I am doing my job. I just don't think she's nailing this character in any way that's making me like the show any better. But I do remember what I was gonna say, which I may have cut out. That I forgot what I was gonna say. So now just.
Oh my God, you're showing our listeners how the sausage is made.
I totally am. Okay, as someone who is in professional settings often with professional people, yes, me, and in like at like professional setting parties and stuff, no way
you don't go to parties.
No way in shit would I make out with someone in the middle of like my colleagues and coworkers and like people.
Oh, okay. Listen, and I understand like they're on a ship. Talk about a bottle episode. Like they have bottle lives, right? So what else are you gonna do? There's, you know, except for like private quarters, you know, where do you go?
Yeah,
where there's not going to be anyone else, but spilling out into the hallways, in the corridors. Also, I thought it was funny that Stamets and Burnham were dancing in the corridor, and I was like, it was like the runners. I was like, people are trying to walk here. Get out of the hallway.
Did you like the runners that were yelling like left as they were going by?
Yeah, because I wanted to be like, go run in the gym, you know? You dum-dums. Yeah. What the heck? No, get off the corridors.
Like, these are... So, first of all, she's already notorious for who she is. He is now, like, a high-ranking officer. They are both bridge crew. Like, you don't... Yeah. You don't do that. Like, you just...
It's been weeks. Exactly. And I am wondering, will we get, like... You know, occasionally, the Next Generation did this really well, where we would get an episode about kind of, like, the B team, you know, and none of the main folks would be in it. Are we going to get an episode of the B team of Discovery, people being like, yeah, I thought that promotion was mine. I really thought, you know, I was in line for chief of security.
God, we might get more interesting people.
Yeah, God. But then this jackleg Ash Tyler comes on board and starts finessing his way onto the bridge. And now, you know, I'm third in line again. And yeah, there's only so many bridge positions. I get that Lorca digs Burnham, thinks that she's the one who's going to help them win the war. But dude, literally, she's been on board like a couple of weeks. Give people some time to get used to her.
Dude, for real. Also, can we talk about this choice line? Never hide who you are. That's how relationships work.
Yeah, and I heard that and was like, or disagree. My personal experience would indicate otherwise, but you do you.
But I'm like, of all the relationship advice that one could give, that's the one piece of advice, like the top of the top. Like, who the fuck wrote this shit? Also, when she goes to give herself up to Mud in order to be like to try to protect Tyler or whatever, so that they can con the con man. And he says, "What's in it for you?" And she says, "Lieutenant Tyler." I fucking died. Oh God.
This is
help.
Yeah, help is. You know what? I did have a moment that I was unprepared for when Lorca kept getting shot. I laughed so hard. Like, I lost my mind.
That was a high point.
I was enjoying it so much. But before that, there was actually a moment where I briefly warmed to Lorca, and it was, I think, on the like second or third time loop when Burnham says, "Hey, I want to run point on, you know, the space whale," and he says, "Yeah, I don't give a crap." And then Tyler's like, "Yeah, I want to go out and do security," and Lorca's like, "I still don't give a crap." And I was like, "Cosign, I don't either." Lorca and I are right on board. Yeah.
I also realized that, like, I was like, him dying a bunch should have been so much more satisfying to me than it was, but it was because he wasn't in the episode, and I didn't like have all the hate built up that I normally do. Like, there wasn't the
No, it was just funny. It wasn't tragic. It was just fun. It was honestly hilarious. They could have leaned into that more and had him like run into stuff, fall over things, get cut in half or whatever. It was a delightful moment of comedy for me.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Okay, the other thing, if we're talking about like character development and progress, right? One of the overarching themes is that Burnham is learning how to be human, right? She's learning, even though she spent 7 years on a fucking ship with humans, whatever. So
Right?
she's learning how to have like feelings and emotions or whatever. But like, there is no progress being made. Literally every episode, she says, "What I'm feeling is complicated and strange." Like I'm
Yeah.
picturing like she's like a teenager and like she's getting turned on for the first time ever. And she's like,
Yeah.
"What is this weird feeling between my
No,
legs?"
seriously. Yeah. And, I mean, I don't have the same antipathy towards Sonequa Martin Green or her acting that you do. Like, I actually enjoy her. I like seeing her. I like seeing what she's doing. I think she's doing the best with what she's given, which, again, is hot garbage. But I do wish she had someone. See, this is why it would have been really cool if they had continued with the trajectory I thought they were going to take Tilly on. Like, both of them kind of exploring like how to inhabit your emotions, how to engage with other people like honestly and truthfully and sincerely, but nevertheless protect yourself, whatever. Like I think they could have done something interesting, but instead, yeah, we get Burnham. It's like she was raised by wolves and this was her first exposure to humans, and so when she says stuff like, my emotions are complicated, they're supposed to be, dummy. Like I just want someone to say to her, you're not special. Like you're not figuring out something that's like a big, like none of us know what we're doing. That's the essence of humanity. Now get to work.
Yeah, oh totally. I think that they probably I think they will probably do what you are asking of them in terms of Tilly. I think they're just really inconsistent. So they're like, "Oh, we need to do comedy here. What characters do we have at our disposal?" So like, when they do that weird shit with Stam, it's like his facial expressions half the time. I was like, "What is
they're
happening
bananas.
to his face?"
They're bananas,
And I feel like
I fully expect his skin suit to dissolve. He's not real.
Exactly. And also, like, with Tilly, I feel like they just use her, like, for convenience sake of whatever story they're trying to tell, as opposed to being consistent with her character and what her relationship is with Burnham. Like, you can throw in all the fucking exposition you want by being like, Tilly's my only friend, and I'm in love with Tyler, and whatever, but, like, it doesn't mean that like, her character and, like, her, I hate using the word agency when it comes to characters, but like her agency as a character, I guess, is just it's so all over the place because she's just there for the convenience of whatever needs to be written that week.
Right. Exactly. One of the strengths, part of the magic of Star Trek is that the characters that we've come to know and love were all so quintessentially themselves, and you got to know what that was going to be pretty quickly. Yes, there was growth and evolution the way that there is for, every creature that lives and breathes. But, each person, like you kind of knew who they were, like what the essence of them was. This show is taking, I feel, too long to figure that out with Tilly, and they're kind of cheating, and yeah, they're just making her be like a plot wooby, in a way that I'm not digging. And I don't like it because I really like her. I like what she could be. And so I'm still holding out hope, It's still Tilly, Saru forever. Like those are still my favorite characters.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. All right. Should we go into listener comments, or do you have more shit you want to talk about with this?
Let me scroll through my page and a half of notes. Normally, I'm such an avid note taker. I'll have like 40 pages of notes. This I literally have a page and a half, and it's mostly being like, "This is garbage. This is garbage."
Okay, I've got two things actually that I want to say, even though I prompted you. One. So the only part of Stamets talking to Burnham about relationships is I like hearing him talk about being gay, like as a normalized thing in this world that is acceptable because of the history of Star Trek being so homophobic. Like I appreciate that, even if it's super cringy.
Yeah, and it was great seeing that other, like, the lesbian couple in the background, like at the party or whatever. Too often when we get gay characters, lesbian characters, queer characters as a whole, it's like one, right? They're tokenized. Yeah. But to have it be like, on a ship of, 150 people or whatever, more than 2 people are going to be gay. Come on.
I totally missed that. I was too busy fucking cringing and rolling my eyes back at that goddamn party scenes.
That's okay. Every episode, either I miss something or you miss something. We're just keeping it,
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to say, and this was This was disappointing because I'm finding that I really like watching Burnham interact with creatures. Like, as soon as she stepped down there and was like, "Oh, like, what are you? Like, what's going on with you?" And then realizing that the creature's just there as like a, it's just there to move the plot forward so that Mud could get the crystals on the ship or whatever. I was kind of sad because I'm really enjoying the moments where she is doing what she's good at and what she's knowledgeable at, and like that is that's the part of her that she's trying to tap into. The humanity is coming out with different creatures and animals and that sort of thing. So I want more of that. Like, I want to see them explore that a little bit further.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
Yay.
Let me give you a real quick hair update before we go into listener comments. In my hair report this week, not gonna lie, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I like the waves and the thickness of Burnham's hair, but something was a little bit off for me this week. It kind of looked like she slept in a wave cap, but she's got too much hair for that. That's gonna be a comment that, our one Black listener out of the 3 total that we have is going to get. But Joe Black Attacks, you feel me, right? Like, there's something about that.
Hold on. For us people who don't know,
Google it.
Cap is.
Google it. I ain't got the time to explain.
All right,
I ain't got time to explain. Google it.
I'll look it up. Yeah, fair. That is a perfectly. I should not be making you have to explain things like that to me. So good,
that's right, especially when there's so many. Because there's so many other things that I could be explaining to you.
It's true. That's true. Okay, so we are super enjoying all of your comments on Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah.
And reading them, and it's a joy to be engaging with all of you. One that I particularly liked from last week. On Twitter, Alana says, if sticking Stamets in a tank and stabbing him with needles keeps changing his personality, we can only hope he's a mushroom by season end.
I love that.
I loved it so much. I wanted to favorite that like 5 times, but I don't think you can do that.
It would be great if he turned into a mushroom and we buried him under dirt.
Can we?
Which leads into,
can we eat him, or is that gross? That's gross,
disgusting.
Right? Yeah,
that's gross, Anita.
Right.
Don't take it to the bad place.
Sorry.
At Ensign Jen asked me why I hate Stamets so much. She said, I get that he's not likable, but your hatred of him seems pretty deep-seated. And you are right. Ensign Jen, Stamets is not funny. He is smarmy, but not in a charming way. His super light eyebrows freak me the hell out. I don't like how he reminds me of Alan Tudyk, but not like a good... It's like, if this was a mirror universe and Nazi scientists had to create a robot Alan Tudyk, that's who they would come up with. I don't like it. I'm not into it. I never will be.
Fair.
Yeah.
I think it's fair. You can not like him. There was someone was a little bit upset at how much we don't like Stamets, and because he is the like openly gay character. I fully appreciate and love that there's an openly gay character on the show and that it's acceptable. I just don't like him, and that
I love Culber, his partner.
Yeah,
I wish we were getting more Wilson Cruz. Come on, but
as opposed to him,
Stamets
just like,
not into it.
Yeah, totally. All right, so Gabriel on Facebook left us a message saying, I'm almost positive so we were talking about the telescope that Michael receives from Captain Giorgio. I'm almost positive it's the one from her ready room, as it was slightly beat. Do you guys think it's a bit silly that someone had to go to the ship graveyard where there was a derelict Klingon ship flying around salvaging parts from other destroyed Klingon vessels to spacewalk into the captain's ready room on the Shenzhou to retrieve that telescope? Or do you think someone grabbed it during the evacuation for basically no reason?
I love it. I know. Oh my God.
Wait. I get why they would write that into it for emotional punch and all, but I don't think it makes any sense. It was amazing. This didn't even occur to me.
Me either.
It didn't even occur to me. Absolutely, it makes no sense, and you're super right. Like, where the fuck did that come from?
Oh my God. Yeah, that comment is A++. That's
oh my God.
so
what I'm picturing? I'm picturing, I don't even know how to articulate what I'm picturing. Like, say like you read the final will and testament, and then some like person is then almost like Blade Runner style, like a replicant is like required to make all of the things happen, and so like someone is just out there salvaging because they have to, and they're like, God damn this like binding contract I have.
I know. They're just like, they're sifting through space recycling, and they're like, oh, okay. Oh, that's so good. That's so good.
It was really good. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Okay, so we got a clarification from many people about something we said last week. And so we got this from Axebeard, Meta Chicken, Karan Boy, Trek Comic, M. Baratara. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but many of you pointed out that the thing that Lorca pulls out at the end of last week's episode was his phaser. It wasn't something he had taken from the Admiral. It wasn't something else. It was his phaser. And it was meant to call back to, you know, like when he and the Admiral slept together, he pulled out the phaser on her because, you know, she startled him, whatever. It's meant to show that, you know, he's still not over it. He's still in that mental frame of mind. So thanks for that correction.
But that's fucking stupid. Of course, it was one day. It was one day. Like, that callback is so, like, I would never think that he would stop doing that after one motherfucking day. Like,
listen, I'm just telling you what the people are telling me, which is that we wasn't something from the Admiral. It was his phaser. No, it was clearly a callback to that moment.
Absolutely. Thanks for clarifying that. I apparently was trying to make it much more meaningful than it really was.
Well, that's on you. That's on you.
All right. Okay, what's next? We got more?
So we had a couple. Yeah, we had a couple more comments and questions and wild theories. People keep asking if we're watching the Orville. I think you are. I'm not. The way my mental health is set up, I don't willingly walk into a Seth MacFarlane project. So y'all can quit asking me about that. It's not happening.
I watched it. Okay, so I don't know. Okay, I fucking hate Seth MacFarlane. Like, I hate everything he does. I hate his smarmy ass, stupid, weirdly dumb face. And I was like, no way am I watching this because I can't stand watching him. Somehow, for some reason, I started watching it. I don't know. I really don't know why. And
you played yourself.
Here's the thing. Like, it's really hard to get over him because he's awful. And obviously, there's a part of me that's like, oh, of course you made yourself the captain, you piece of shit, dude, that has to be in attention, blah, blah, blah. I understand why my friends who recommended it to me, though. Because, like...
Because they hate you?
Yes, 100%.
You need new friends.
Well, you won't be my friend.
You don't pay me enough.
So, it harkens back to Next Generation. Like, it really super does. In this way that
Hush your mouth.
Discovery isn't. No. I'm not saying it is that. I'm saying that, like, the sort of the feeling of it in some ways, the rhythms of the episodes, the things that they're doing on it, like the like minorly campy stuff, like there's warmth to it that that made me continue watching it. You know, it's a little more adult, quote unquote, so there's definitely like you know, there's definitely some sexist shit in there, but there's also some really funny random stuff that, like, you know, at one point one of the characters gets a cannabis edible out of the replicator, and I was like, all right. What? And then, like, the first officer is, like, the captain's ex-wife, and so, like, there's obviously all of this shit that goes on there that, like, some of it is actually amusing and funny, and some of it is dumb. So, I don't know, like, if it wasn't Seth MacFarlane, I would maybe I would hesitate. I would cautiously recommend it, but I cannot in good conscience recommend anyone to watch Seth MacFarlane ever.
Yeah, no, Seth MacFarlane is always a hard pass for me, always. Seth MacFarlane, Steely Dan, and mayonnaise. 3 things I got no time for. Mayonnaise? Never will. It's Ebony. Disgusting. It's this. Wow. You know what? We'll talk about it on a future episode, a special episode. Okay.
I'm a very big fan of mayonnaise, especially like the fancy ass aiolis and shit.
That doesn't even make, like, mayonnaise. This is blowing my mind. What does it take for you to be a mayonnaise fan? Like, it's not even something. Oh my! I'm done.
It's
I'm
delicious. Done. You want that on your sandwich?
Oh,
like, that is the right.
I can't. No.
I wish you could see Ebony's face right now. She's so repelled.
Oh, I'm so upset. I'm so upset.
All right, so that's about the Orville.
Yeah.
That's my take.
Yeah, so anyways, we have had like Anita said, great comments and questions. So please keep them coming. If you hear something from us that like we didn't catch or we misunderstood based upon our incomplete amateurish knowledge of Star Trek, please let us know via Twitter. We actually love engaging with all of y'all. So, and it's been really fun reading the kinds of like wild theories that some of y'all are coming up with. It's been really great.
Yeah, it is very lovely. I'm loving all of the cat gifts. There's a couple puppy gifts in there. It's very A++. Thank you.
Nice.
We are up on iTunes finally. I made it happen.
Yay.
Magically. So we should be on pretty much all the networks that you might use to listen to podcasts. If you have any issues or if there's anywhere that we're missing, let us know. They've announced that they're going to renew this for a second season, so god damn it.
We're in it to win it.
Yeah, we'll be around for that. But yeah, thank you for joining us. As always, check out feministfrequency.com. You can watch episodes of The Freak Show that we release every couple of weeks. We've got lots of different stuff going on over there. And we'll talk to you all next week.
Talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. I had something I was about to say, and I totally fucking lost it.
Sorry, I keep interrupting because I'm so filled with rage. Like,
I know.
White hot space rage.
It's real. Space rage is real. Yeah. Okay, hold on. I totally fucking lost what I was gonna say. I really, legitimately had a thing.
You need to go to sick bay.
Oh. Shut up. I'm gonna cut all this out.